In America, leaving no tip on a restaurant bill doesn't mean the service was fine. It means the service was so terrible, I am punishing you. And that's a cultural landmine. Hey everyone, welcome to Speak Like a Native. I'm Maya.
And I'm Leo. Let's get into it.
Leo, I have a question for you to start. You go to a nice restaurant in New York. The food is amazing, the server is friendly, the bill comes. What do?
Well, I pay the bill, of course. I give them my credit card, they bring it back, I sign, and I leave, right?
And that, my friend, is where you would accidentally commit a major social faux pas. You left out the most critical step, the tip.
Oh, right, the tip. I know about that. But how much? And is it always necessary? In my country, we only tip if the service is extraordinary.
That is the number one difference, and it's the key to understanding everything. In the United States, tipping is not a bonus for exceptional service. It is a standard expected part of a service worker's wage. Their base pay is often very, very low, with the assumption that tips will make up most of their income.
Wait, really? So if I don't tip, I'm not just being a little rude, I'm actually taking money from them?
Exactly. You're refusing to pay for the service you just received. That's why it feels so personal. So today, we're decoding tipping culture, the unwritten rules of 15%, 20% when to tip, and how to do it without stress.
I need this. I always get nervous when the bill comes. I'm doing math in my head. I'm not sure.
We're going to fix that. Let's start with the golden rule. For sit-down restaurant service, where a server takes your order, brings your food, checks on you, the standard tip is 20%.
20%. Okay, not 15.
15% is the old standard. It's now considered the baseline for okay service. If the service was just fine, nothing special, 15 is acceptable but minimal. 20% is the new standard for good normal service. Think of it this way. 15 says you did your job, 20 says thank you, I appreciate it.
Got it. 20% for normal, good service. How do I even calculate that quickly?
Great question. Here's a native hack. To calculate 20%, first find 10%. Just move the decimal one place to the left. If your bill is $45, 10% is $4.50. Then double that for 20%. So $4.50 times 2 is $9. 20% of $45 is $9.
10%, then double it. That's easy.
Exactly. Now, what if the service was truly outstanding? You can go to 25%. What if something was wrong? Your food was late, the server was rude, then you might go down to 10%. Or in extreme cases, speak to a manager and leave a very small tip to make a point. But leaving zero, as we said, is a nuclear option. It's a very strong message.
Okay, restaurant 20% standard. What about other places? This is where I get confused.
Let's build our tipping map. Scenario 1. You're at a coffee shop, like Starbucks. You order at the counter, they hand you a drink. Do you tip?
There's no table service, so no?
This is a gray area, but the common practice is yes, you tip a little. There's often a tip jar by the register, or when you pay by card, the machine will ask if you want to leave a tip, usually with options like $1, $2, or a percentage. You don't need to do 20%. Throwing your change in the jar, or adding $1 or $2 on a card for a complicated order is the polite thing to do. It's not mandatory like a restaurant, but it's very appreciated.
So for counter service, a small tip is kind, but not a strict rule.
Right. Now, scenario 2, you take an Uber or a Lyft.
Do I tip the driver?
Yes. The app makes it easy. After the ride, you rate the driver and it asks if you want to add a tip. Standard is 15 to 20% again, or you can choose a preset amount like $2, $5, or $10. For a short, simple ride, $2 or $3 is fine. For a longer ride, or if the driver helps with bags, go for 15 to 20%.
What about taxis, the yellow cabs?
Same rule, 15 to 20%. You can give cash or sometimes tip on a card machine.
Okay, scenario 3, a hotel. This feels complicated.
It is, but we'll simplify. There are several people you might tip at a hotel. First, the bellhop or porter who carries your bags to your room. Standard tip is $2 to $5 per bag. So if one person brings up two suitcases, you hand them a $5 bill.
Just hand them cash?
Yes, directly. Say thank you so much and hand them the cash. Second, housekeeping. This is one many people forget. Leave a tip for the housekeeper each day of your stay because it might be a different person each day. Leave $2 to $5 per night on the pillow or the desk with a little note. Just put the cash there in the morning.
I would never have thought of that.
Most travelers don't. Third, the valet who parks your car. When they bring your car back, tip them $2 to $5. And finally, if a concierge goes above and beyond, like getting you last-minute tickets to a sold-out show, then you tip them maybe $20 or more.
Wow. There's a whole economy happening.
It really is. Now, here's the part that surprises most people. Who do you not need to tip?
Tell me.
You do not tip the owner of a business. If you're at a small hair salon and the person cutting your hair is also the owner, you do not tip. You can say, "Your work is amazing, thank you," but you don't add money. The logic is they set the prices, so they keep all the profit.
That's a good exception to know. What about takeout food? I pick up a pizza.
Another great gray area. For simple pickup, where you just walk in and grab your order, no tip is required, but if you ordered a huge, complicated order for an office party, then a tip of 10% is a nice gesture. Often, the card machine will ask, and it's okay to select no tip for simple pickup.
This is helping my mental map so much, but let's talk about the actual moment. How do I give the tip? What do I say?
Fantastic. This is the language part. In a restaurant, when you pay by card, they will bring you two slips, the merchant copy and the customer copy. There's a line that says tip and a line that says total. You write the tip amount on the tip line, add it to the bill to get the new total, write that on the total line, and sign. Then you leave the merchant copy on the table. You don't say anything about it. It's silent.
What if I pay with cash?
You pay the bill with cash and then leave the tip cash on the table. You can say as you're leaving, "Thank you, the change is for you," or just leave it. They'll understand.
And what if I need to ask? Like, is tipping included? I've heard of gratuity.
Yes! Sometimes for large groups like 6 people or more, the restaurant will automatically add a gratuity or service charge of 18 or 20% to the bill. You must check your bill carefully. It will usually say gratuity for large party included or similar. If you see that, you do not need to add an extra tip. You can, if the service was phenomenal, but it's not expected. To ask, you can say, "Excuse me, is the gratuity already included on this bill?" Perfectly polite.
Is the gratuity already included? Okay.
Now, I want to talk about common mistakes learners make. And in a few minutes, Leo is going to make the exact mistake 90% of learners make. Stay with us. First common mistake, being overly apologetic or awkward about the tip. Don't say, "Oh, here is a little something for you. Sorry, it's not much." That draws attention to it in a weird way. Just leave it calmly.
Second mistake?
Tipping based only on the food price when you had drinks. The tip is calculated on the final total, including drinks, dessert, everything, not just the entrees.
Makes sense. Third?
This is a big one for learners from cultures where tipping is rare, like Japan or South Korea. They might think, "I am a foreigner, they will understand if I don't tip." But in most cases, they won't understand. The server doesn't know your background. They'll just think you were rude or cheap. It's better to follow the local custom.
That's a really important point. You're a visitor, but you're participating in their system.
Exactly. Now, Leo, I'm going to put you on the spot. Let's do a practice round. Imagine we just finished a lovely dinner. The bill comes, the total is $68. The service was great. We're paying by card. What do you do?
Okay, first I calculate 20%. 10% is $6.80. Double that is $13.60. So I write $13.60 on the tip line. Then the total is 68 plus $13.60. That's $81.60. I write that on the total line, sign, and leave the copy on the table.
Perfect. You did the math perfectly, and you knew the silent procedure. Excellent.
Thank you. I feel so prepared. But wait, what was the mistake 90% of learners make? You said I was going to make it.
Ah, yes. I set a trap and you avoided it. The classic mistake is when the bill comes and the learner, trying to be helpful, says to the server, "How much should I tip?" or "What is a good tip?"
Oh, I can see myself saying that. It seems like a logical question.
It does, but it puts the server in a very awkward position. They can't tell you to give them more money. It's uncomfortable. So you never ask the person you're tipping how much to tip. You're supposed to know or discreetly ask a friend or look it up. Asking them directly is the mistake.
Wow, that is such a subtle social rule. So never ask the server, how much should I tip?
Never. Now, let's talk about the cultural why a bit more. This isn't just about money, press, it's about a social contract. In the US, there's a strong cultural value on rewarding direct personal service. The tip is a direct feedback loop between you and the server. It's also why service in America can feel very friendly and attentive, because their income depends on making you happy.
It explains a lot. The server is always coming to ask, is everything okay? They want to make sure.
Exactly. In cultures with no tipping or included service charges, the service style is often more neutral, more professional distance. Neither is better or worse, they're just different systems. Knowing this helps you understand the behavior and not be surprised by it.
This is really decoding the culture, not just the language.
That's the goal. Now, for our listeners, here's your challenge. This week, if you're in a situation where you might tip, even if it's just imagining it, practice the calculation. Say to yourself, the bill is $30, 20% is $6, or my coffee is $5, I'll leave $1 in the tip jar. Get that mental math fast.
And practice the phrase, is the gratuity included? Say it out loud.
Perfect. Before we go, if you're finding these cultural insights helpful, make sure you're subscribed to Speak Like a Native. We drop new episodes daily to help you navigate real English in real life, so you never have to feel lost or awkward. Hit that subscribe button and the bell so you don't miss our next decode. We're talking about the real meaning of how are you and why you should never answer it, literally.
That's a good one. I've made that mistake.
We all have. So, to wrap up today's episode, what's the one sentence to remember?
For sit-down restaurant service in the US, the standard tip is 20% of the total bill, and it's an expected part of the server's wage.
Beautiful. You got it. So remember, tipping isn't optional, it's obligatory. Master it, and you communicate respect.
Thanks, Maya.
Thank you, Leo. And thank you all for listening. We'll see you next time on Speak Like a Native.